Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope this show finds you in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let us not forget that. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got some breaking news going on out of Biddeford, Maine right now. And this is becoming, Nirvana, Tyler, okay, on YouTube. This is definitely becoming big time top news right now as we speak. So get your butts in here. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of conversation going on. So this is very interesting. And there's a lot of things that are being said that we don't know what's going to be happening. We don't know if it's accurate or not. So we're going to find out here in just a minute. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. Hopefully we'll find out some more information here very, very soon. So please do me a favor. Before we get into everything, hit that like button down below. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all them mugs. So make sure you hit that follow button on those platforms. Also, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button right here on my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Don't forget, subscribe. Also, go and check out my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. Please and thank you. Hit that notification bell on both channels so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Because honestly, it is random. Or when it's breaking, there's breaking news happening all the time. So we are breaking news all the time. So make sure that notification bell is set to all. Okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out that Patreon that's going across the bottom of the screen right now as we speak. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I wish we were waking up on, we're waking up to different types of news or different news today. But I got up, got my cup of Joe going, and suddenly this is what's going on in the news today. We got one person that has lost their life due to an ICE-involved shooting in Biddeford, Maine. Now, obviously, this is still ongoing. This is still a developing case. This is still a developing crime scene. There's still a lot they have not given. They're saying that there was there's a person that was driving their car towards an ICE agent, and that ICE agent opened fire on that moving vehicle. Now, we've heard that story a multitude of times. All right. We've heard that story a lot. In fact, there was an incident recently, if I remember correctly. There was an incident that happened in, I think it was in Texas somewhere, maybe Houston, maybe Austin, Texas, maybe Houston. I don't remember. But anyway, there was an incident that happened in Texas where another person lost their life due to an ICE-involved shooting as well. And they said vehicle was driving towards the agent, and he opened fire on that moving vehicle, taking that particular person's life as well. So, again, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are for ICE stuff. There's going to be a lot of people that are against ICE stuff. ICE involvement in anything out here. One thing is for sure, we haven't really heard much about ICE until just recently, over the last few weeks, right? Oh, so it was Torsha. Thank you. So it was in Houston. I appreciate that. So, we haven't really heard much about ICE since the stuff that happened, in Minneapolis, right? In Minnesota, right? We haven't really heard a lot since the Alex Preddy and all that, right? Renee Good, exactly. You know what I mean? We haven't heard a lot about this as of recently. It's been several months. And now all this is popping back up again because of what's going on here. Okay. So, a father of 3 sons and a business owner, classic. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me know that too. So, again, this is all breaking news right now. This is breaking news. Actually, this has been developing and breaking over the last few hours now. So, yeah. Tyler, that's, what's interesting is I've heard that they haven't really let up, but media hasn't really been covering ICE at all. You see what I'm saying? Like, if they're still out there doing exactly what they've been doing from the beginning, it's interesting that the media isn't really covering what ICE could be doing right now as we speak, right? So I do find that very interesting, all right? But nonetheless, we got to get into this, and thank you so much, guys, for all your comments and all that. All right, we're going to get this bad boy moving, all right? So here it is. Like I said, somebody has lost their life due to an ICE-involved situation, all right? Officials in Maine are investigating after one person was unalived in a shooting that reportedly involved immigration and customs enforcement, so ICE, all right? This incident happened in the city of Biddeford. Okay, I need to fix that on my title, but Biddeford, Monday morning, according to Maine House Speaker, I'll just say Ryan because I can't, Fecto? Okay, House Speaker Fecto, all right, who represents the city of See, that's interesting. Biddeford or Biddeford? I thought it was Biddeford. Maybe it's people are accidentally typing in Biddeford instead of Biddeford, but I digress. Okay, but this is what he said in a statement here. So, my fellow Biddeford residents and Mainers, this morning a shooting occurred in Biddeford. Okay, so I had it right. A person has been killed. ICE was involved. So this is what he wrote on social media. State police and the Department of Public Safety are now on the scene to gather details and would expect the FBI to investigate as well. So, and we're going to be hearing from a news clip, and they're saying FBI is already getting involved in investigating this particular incident. These are the details I have at this time. I will provide further updates as they are relayed to me. So, Congresswoman Pingree said she was on her way to Portland for her flight to Washington, D.C. when she got the actual report about this incident. We will be asking a lot of questions, she said in a Facebook video. A dispatcher for the area told News Center Maine Monday morning that nearby streets were closed to an active crime scene. According to Press Herald, a Maine newspaper, residents were visibly shaken by the incident. There's a typo there. Mary Hayes, a resident who lives near where the incident took place, told the Press Herald she could see the aftermath of the shooting near her home. There's a dead body down there, she reportedly cried to her neighbor. I saw it. I saw his foot. So she told Press Herald she was shaken by the events. I mean, we live in Maine. We don't expect this to happen here. We have to come. What have we come to? Yeah, I mean, we are now in a world where it's all happening everywhere. It doesn't matter. As much as you are thinking, oh, my neighborhood's safe. Oh, wait for it. Danger's still coming your way. Doesn't matter. This is just the world that we live in. And it doesn't, I'm not saying it's ICE involved. I'm just saying it could be ICE. It could just be a bad person. I mean, we live in a wild world now. It's the wild, wild west now. Okay. So like I said, last Tuesday, so a week ago, an ICE officer in Houston fatally shot a Mexican immigrant after he was pursued by federal agents driving unmarked vehicles while he was taking his crew to their latest job site. Feds were looking for someone else when they tried to stop Salgado Arujo's white van. So they pulled over the wrong dude. Ay, Chihuahua. They were looking for someone else in Houston. They were looking for someone else when they tried to stop Salgado's car. Okay, his van. All right, and this is coming from a representative. All right, and they said, citing a briefing she received from the ICE's acting director. So the Department of Homeland Security has said an ICE agent fired at the van in self-defense after Salgado, who officials described as an illegal alien, even though he wasn't, they took down the wrong car, rammed an ICE vehicle. They have provided no evidence. They have provided no evidence on that particular situation. So they're saying that this van that was driven by Salgado in Houston, first off, they had the wrong guy. They profiled and pulled over, or tried to pull over, the wrong van, the wrong dude. And then they said, wow. And then they said that he rammed another vehicle, an ICE vehicle. That's why they fired. But they still have not provided any evidence of what they said. And this is coming from a U.S. representative. A representative. This isn't just word on the street. This isn't just the media saying this for the sake of whatever side they want to be on to express their bias. No. This is what's being said. And this particular person, Salgado, should still be alive because he was not an illegal alien. They called him an illegal alien, and he was not. He rammed an ICE vehicle. That's why they opened fire, yet they still have not provided any evidence of wrongdoing on Salgado's part. They pulled over the wrong guy, or they're trying to pull over the wrong guy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why isn't that making huge news? I'm quite curious. I'm quite curious about that, but I digress. We got to get it moving. Let's get into some news clips.
We are interrupting your programming right now to bring you breaking news out of Biddeford this morning. Pool Street at Hill Street currently shut down because of a large police presence there. Right now, police have that sectioned off. It is blocked off. Democratic House Speaker Ryan Fecteau posting on social media this statement. State police and the Department of Public Safety are now on scene to gather details, and they expect the FBI to investigate this as well. He is saying on his statement that this is a shooting that involves ICE agents. Again, this is posted to his personal Facebook page. He says this morning a shooting occurred in Biddeford. A person was killed. ICE was involved. State police and the Department of Public Safety again gathering information according to his Facebook page. You see the statement right there. We have reached out to police. We have not yet heard back, but we do know that the intersection right now at Pool in Hill Street is closed. This is near the Platinum Pawn Jewelry Shop. We do have a crew on the way right now, 2 crews to bring you the latest information of the scene, from the scene, but you should avoid the area right now if you are in the area of Biddeford. Again, that is Pool and Hill Street closed off.
This again, I want to know what actually is going on here, and if what they're claiming is actually correct and true. You know what I'm saying? Because they could be out here saying all kinds of crazy stuff just for the sake of saying crazy stuff. But hold on, let me show you guys the crime scene itself. This is what's going on right now as we speak. This is live at the location. Clearly, this is where the body has been found. This is where the scene is. They've put up a tent to cover up whatever may be going on. And I'm not saying to cover up because they're up to no good. I'm just saying that they're covering things up because, they're in a very heavily residential area. So they're covering those things up because, you got kids, you got women and children in the area. You know what I mean? They don't need to see this crap. They don't need to see this. But at the same time, what actually happened here, guys? I think that's the question that we're all wanting to know. What actually happened? Again, let me reiterate this again. They're saying that apparently the person who's driving a car, drove towards an ICE agent, and that ICE agent, this is what the rumors are saying, all right? This is what the rumors are saying. Sorry, I'm reading your comments and all that. Sorry about that. Still trying to wake up a little bit, guys. It's been a long weekend, but here it is. They're saying that they try to pull him over or pull this particular person over. This person was not having it. This is according to ICE. At least this is what the streets are saying. And he drove, or they, whoever was behind the wheel, drove towards an ICE agent trying to take them out, allegedly. So that ICE agent pulled out their weapon and fired into the car, taking their life. That's at least what they're saying in the streets. I have yet to see any press conference because I've been watching this for a little bit as we're kind of getting things ready, as I was kind of setting things up. But again, we don't know what happened here. So it looks like there's a little interview here. I'm going to pull that up here so we can hear maybe some eyewitness account.
Other side? What?
I can't show the T-shirt.
I know. I told to zoom in.
I'm just going to shoot it real tight. Okay.
That's fine. And,
I have to move.
What's your name?
It's Olivia.
Olivia what?
Clay.
Olivia Clay. Okay. I'm going to switch sides, Mike. Give me a second. That way I can cover that with that. Is that better? Okay. Olivia Clay, look at me when we talk. Your thoughts about you live right here. Did you hear anything? What do you see?
I didn't hear the shots go off, but I was out here as they were roping all the do not cross tape here and, trying to see what was going on, but I didn't get, an eye on it.
What do you think about what happened here?
I'm disgusted. This is horrible. I mean, the citizens of this country are literally being gunned down in the street for doing nothing, for the color of their skin. It's disgusting. It's absolutely horrific.
I have a feeling that she has something on her shirt that has something to do with ICE, and I think it has a lot of expletives on it. That's just what I'm thinking, or something. But obviously, she showed up for a reason. Here's the other thing, too. We don't know if protests are going to start popping off over there. Remember this. Oh, and by the way, Copper Mountain, this is not in Texas. This is in Maine. So all the way north, okay? Place where they build boats, allegedly. Or they used to. I don't know. All right. But one thing is for sure. There may be protests going on in Maine. Here's the thing, though. There was some demonstrations in Houston when Salgado lost his life in Houston. Remember, they still have not shown any proof of wrongdoing, or they have not shown proof, let's just say, of the narrative that they gave to the public and gave to the locals in Houston. So they're still waiting out on that. And it's been almost a whole week when Salgado lost his life in Houston. So there was a few demonstrations out in Houston, but not much. Now, I'm wondering if there's going to be a much bigger reaction now because this is a whole other week later, almost a whole other week later, because tomorrow will be a week since the passing of Salgado, that you have another person in another area of America getting shot and killed. So I'm wondering if there is going to be any protests going on in Maine. There might be. There might not be. But still, this is insane that we're witnessing this happening 2 times in a row in less than a week, and in less than 7 days. How's that? That's pretty insane. All right. So Crazy. So let's hear a little bit more.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I bet. Shoot. Let me see if I can get a that was like. She's just like I was here, and the only reason why I'm here is for that. Let's take a look at this. The sound. I'm just gonna let you know everything's coming from my my right ear. Just so you know, if you're having sound issues, this sound is treesh, and it's not my doing, guys. This is just from the feed. Okay, just endure this with me for a few seconds. I'm gonna be moving on to another live feed and all that too. Okay, just so you know.
I hope you come and join us at the demonstration at noon at Mechanics Park. Troy Jackson is going to be speaking, and we're going to have a large number of people because people in our community do not want ICE. These are our immigrant neighbors.
Okay, I'm okay. Can I just say this really quick? And I have a feeling. I think we're back at this again. I think we're back. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Like it took several months. There was a little bit of a break. It was in Minneapolis for a while, right? And now it's going to be in Maine. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else seeing? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you putting up with what I'm putting down? Are you know what I mean? Yeah, you might not be able to hear what she's saying. She's basically saying, and I'll reiterate it because the sound here is trash. All right, it's only coming out of one ear. But I have a feeling like we're back at this again. You notice how we just kind of keep circling back to certain things. And I think ICE is starting to pick up speed again. I think the people are going to get pissed, and people are going to start showing up, and then there's going to be demonstrations, and then there's going to be craziness in the streets. Maybe this is just my gut reaction. This is just my gut reaction, but maybe. Just saying maybe. But she is saying right now that they're going to be doing a demonstration. I guess they're going to be doing a demonstration in about an hour from now. They're going to be doing one at 12 noon, okay, their local time. So that's like 11 Central Standard Time, okay, for those of y'all who are trying to do the math, all right, or trying to get the time right. They're going to be doing a demonstration in about an hour from now. So it's begun. That's all I can say. And remember, we don't know what story that ICE is going to give us. And I'm going to tell you this too. For those of y'all who are like, yeah, think ICE, ICE is the bomb, all that stuff. It's fine. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, whatever. But my problem, and it should be a problem for every single person out there that is either an ICE supporter or an ICE abolitionist, okay? They did not tell us the truth with what happened to Alex Preddy. Now, I know we don't have Christy Noam in the group chat anymore. She ain't leading it anymore. But at the same time, still the same narratives happening right now. Salgado in Houston lost his life. They made a mistake. They picked the wrong dude. He ended up losing his life. When the people in Houston asked for transparency, what happened? They still have not given them transparency on that particular case. Look at what happened with Alex Preddy. They lied to us in real time in 4K, everybody. That's a massive problem. It doesn't matter if you are anti-ICE or pro-ICE. If there's no transparency, no accountability, you got to start asking questions. You got to see that certain things aren't right. Like I said, we can all agree. Like here it is. I get that there's people out here that go, F12, F the police, right? But at the same time, there's other people out here, like where we do appreciate and need the police. But if the police are acting funny out here in these streets, both sides should be on the same side in that one moment. If they're acting funny and they're lying to us in real time, and it's apparent that they're lying to us, we should all see that. And we should be putting all of our biases and all of our political opinions off to the side and come together and go, wait a second, they're lying to us. That's no bueno. That is no good, cabron. No good. That's a problem. So when you have ICE still lying, still not willing to give out information, doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on or the opinion that you have on the agency, if they're not lying, if they are lying to you, then they're lying to all of people in America. That's the problem. They're lying to all of us, guys. All of us when they do that. Oh yeah, he pulled out his weapon and he started blasting. Word, Christy Noam? You really just said that in real time. In front of everybody, in front of the world. You got to be kidding me. If they're lying to the anti-ICE people, they're lying to the pro-ICE people. They're lying to America. That includes you who are pro and those others who are anti. They're lying to us all. I'm just saying, we all got to wake up. We all got to wake up. That's a big problem. I don't like ICE if they're lying to my face. Do what you need to do. Get the bad guys out of here. All that stuff. But if you make a mistake, you better not be lying to my face. You better not be lying to my face. And they're still doing it right now, guys. So what kind of narrative are they going to give us with this one? Are they going to give us the truth? Did something really happen here where he really tried to gun his car into an ICE agent? Or are they just using that as an excuse now? That's just their go-to now. That's what I'd like to know as well. Okay, but let me just let her say her piece and we're going to jump on to the next thing or, keep it moving.
Grandparents were all immigrants, and I have a small family because my family that didn't come over was killed in the Holocaust. And I say never again means everyone. Here in the U.S., in Gaza, we can't support human rights abuses. And what's happening with ICE, they're committing human rights abuse after human rights abuse. What the United States is doing, supporting Israel in Gaza, is supporting human rights abuse after human rights abuse. That is not okay. Not in my name, not with my tax dollars, not with my money. I do not support this.
Oh boy. Okay. So she going ham. All right. She's letting her, she's letting us know what she really thinks. That's very, very interesting. We're going to continue on though.
Overnight, the Department of Homeland Security admitting the man shot and killed by ICE in Houston Tuesday was not the intended target.
Hold on. So they're admitting that they were wrong on that one. That is 3 days old. Sorry. That was the wrong guy. That was the wrong individual. We might circle back to that one in a little bit. We might circle back to that one here in just a little bit. Let me grab a live feed here. Hold on. Man, it's so sad. So sad. Uno momento, por favor. Let's take a look.
You're watching Channel 8. Maine's total coverage starts with breaking news.
We are interrupting your programming again live now at 9:40 to bring you the latest on the incident happening in Biddeford right now. A portion of Biddeford at the intersection of Poole Street and Hill Street right now closed. There is a significant police presence there. Officials reporting online this is an ICE-involved fatal shooting happening right now in Biddeford. Again, a large section closed off at this time. We're hearing reports from Ryan Facto, representative from Biddeford and Speaker of the House, where we're getting getting this information that ICE is involved. He said this morning a shooting occurred in Biddeford. A person was killed. ICE was involved. State police and the Department of Public Safety are on scene. The FBI will investigate. Those are the details that he has at this time, and he will provide further updates as soon as he gets them. You see a portion of that statement right there. We've also seen on Facebook Troy Jackson, Senate hopeful and former gubernatorial candidate, saying that he's been alerted to a fatal ICE shooting in Biddeford this morning. His heart is with Biddeford and with all Mainers involved. Again, the intersection of Poole and Hill Street has a significant police presence right now. We have seen the FBI on scene. State police are there. Biddeford police are assisting, and we do have crews live on the scene today as well. We're going to go out now to Jamie Agelet, who was one of the first people to arrive on the scene today. And Jamie, I know you've been talking to people in the area who heard shots. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing and hearing.
Yeah, Jess, we are on Hill Street now. This road behind me is Bacon Street, and that's what police are blocking off now, not letting cars through that intersection. Poole Street, where that shooting happened, is just one block up. They're turning people away, and we've been asking a lot of questions this morning, wanting to know exactly what happened, how we ended up with a fatality here in Biddeford. And the people who live here are asking a lot of questions too. What we're seeing is a lot of cars slowly going by, trying to look and see what they can. Many people walking right up to the street corner, trying to get a better look and talking to the officers here, asking what happened. Several of them driving by, shouting at the officer here, wanting to know more and getting frustrated about this situation. One neighbor I talked to said she was woken up by the scene around 8 o'clock this morning.
I just heard like really loud bangs, and I kind of like looked out the window, and here we go with tons of cops. It was like really loud.
There's no word yet on when this intersection will reopen, but it is still closed. Again, this is Hill Street. Bacon Street runs perpendicular there behind me. Poole Street just one block up. We have more crews here on scene in Biddeford, and we will continue to update you throughout the morning. For now, live in Biddeford, I'm Jamie Agelet, Maine's Total Coverage.
Jamie, thank you so much for that report, and that is right. We do have more crews on scene. Our Terry Stackhouse is also there. He has a different vantage point of the scene this morning. Terry, thank you. And I know you can see FBI on the scene, you can see state police. Tell us a little bit more about that police presence and whether you've heard anything from police this morning.
Hey, Jessica, good morning to you. I am here just off of Middle Street along Poole Street, where you can see a large police presence. And looking at the pictures here from our vantage point, a few things that I want to point out to you here. There are two large canopies, one red, one blue. It's unclear at this point what may be underneath those, as well as a large Biddeford police vehicle. And then lower on the ground, if you're able to see it, there are a number of evidence markers that are near these orange cones. And we've seen law enforcement from numerous agencies walking through this area since we've been here in the last 30 minutes or so. There is a very small group of people which is gathered here right by the crime scene tape where I'm standing right now. They're eager to get some answers here. At least.
Interesting. I got footage. We're going to play this, but I do have footage where they're showing the actual crime scene afterwards, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Something about this seems a little bit off. But again, okay. Let me just say this really quick. The footage that we're gonna see here in just a minute, I'm gonna let them play really quick. But here's the thing: the footage doesn't look like, to me, it doesn't look like somebody trying to run somebody else over. It doesn't look like that. We're going to look at that in a second, but it seems a little strange. So I don't know if what the narrative is being said out here in these streets is accurate. So hopefully we will find out here very, very shortly. Real quick, though, guys, if you could do me a quick solid, okay? Hit the like button down below, please, and thank you. And please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? We cover a lot of things on this show, a lot of breaking news stories, etc. Yeah, we're gonna look at the footage after we get done with this live, this coverage here. And it's just not like off like Alex Preddy, because here's the thing, and that's a good question, Ryan, because I want to know that too. Now, I'm not trying to add to any narrative, But the narrative of them saying that that this driver was trying to maybe hit somebody, like run somebody over, may not be accurate. That just might be rumor. Now, I'm waiting for ICE to come out with their story. I'm waiting for ICE to come out with their story. And I say that very loosely. But it doesn't look like that to me. But we'll see that in just a minute. I promise you guys will be seeing that footage in just a minute. But yes, please hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps get the story out here. It helps get the word out here that letting people know that we're live and all that as well. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But let's rock and roll. This is insane.
To our knowledge, where we are on scene at this moment, we haven't received information confirming this incident through any official channels from law enforcement. I spoke very briefly with Biddeford Police Chief Joanne Fisk. She said that this is not the case that they're handling. She said that the FBI and the Attorney General's office would be the parties which any requests for information need to go through. She said that Biddeford Police's involvement here is really just doing traffic control. Where we are right now is where some Biddeford police officers have staged. We're seeing one car here moving so that one of the Biddeford PD vehicles can move from the scene. We've also seen, worth noting here, just a couple of civilian vehicles that have been moved here from the scene. It's unclear if they had any involvement in the incident as it played out. I want to reference here a post coming from State Representative Mark Mallon. He represents this area. He shared that same information, which was shared on the Facebook page, the personal Facebook page of House Speaker Ryan Fecteau. He said that he's working to get information here, but he did caution locals about sharing potentially false information. And the big question here, we've seen elected officials note that ICE was involved here in some capacity, but we don't know how. With any officer-involved shooting or any law enforcement-involved shooting, of course, there is an investigation to determine the events which surrounded that. We don't have any information about that at this point. We don't know who may have been shot, what happened, the events leading up to that, or who pulled the trigger at that point. It could be a situation where ICE was carrying out operations and perhaps that agency wasn't necessarily the one that pulled the trigger in this instance. On the other hand, it is entirely possible that that is what happened. But I'm looking now just in front of me, a small crowd, maybe half a dozen to a dozen people that are trying to get some clarity and get some answers here. And it's a somber mood. This is something that nobody wants to see in their community. This is a residential area, and neighbors here are coming out. And just looking at the scene here as we're turning here as well, you can see some law enforcement officers with gloves on, taking photos of the scene, gathering evidence, again, placing those evidence markers down. We're trying to get as close to the scene as we can. Forgive me, I'm going to step outside here again. I'm just going to reference my notes because we do have some information that's coming to us in real time, and we're working to get you the best information that we can about this apparent deadly shooting, which involved ICE. This also coming from Joanne Fisk with Biddeford PD. We spoke for really just a matter of seconds as she was leaving the scene when she told me that Biddeford PD is really just handling traffic control in this area. But she said that there is a staging area over at the St. James School for media. It is possible that there will be a news conference of some sort later today, or information may be provided to members of the press at that area. We haven't had the opportunity to head over to the school yet to get some information, and that's because this area is so active with law enforcement. I'm just shifting where I'm positioned so that I can try to give you a better picture here from just my vantage point about what's going on. I'm seeing two officers that are closest to me, just to the left of a Biddeford police vehicle, seeing some civilian vehicles that are parked close to those evidence markers, and then just in front of that large Biddeford PD van, more law enforcement just in front of those two canopies. So as we're working the scene here throughout the day, we're going to try to talk to some residents who have gathered here and see if they may have heard those gunshots earlier this morning. Of course, there is so much being shared on social media right now. Residents are looking for answers. Others are looking to share their perspective. But we're going to be very careful in verifying all the information that we can and the accounts of what happened here so that we can bring you the best information possible here on Maine's Total Coverage. Jessica?
All right, Terry, thank you so much for that view from the scene in Biddeford. A very active scene right now. If you are in the area, be sure to avoid Pool Street and Hill Street, the intersection there. A large area closed off. Biddeford police, though, redirecting traffic. This is a very busy intersection as well. Pool Street, one of the major veins, especially in the summertime, to head toward Biddeford Pool. As Terry said, this is also a heavily residential area as well. That intersection leads down to the bridge to get into Saco, too. So a very busy area that police are asking that you avoid right now, and they are redirecting traffic. Again, we're going to give you a live look from...
Yeah. Again, yeah, crazy. We're going to be going back to a live feed in just a little bit, but I do want to share with y'all some of the footage that's out here. It's very interesting. Okay, let me explain. All right. So according to Eric Doherty, he says just in, this is about an hour ago, someone reportedly just tried to run over an ICE agent in Maine, resulting in self-defense shots and one person actually losing their life. It was only days ago a similar vehicle ramming attempt happened with a Mexican national in Texas. All right. And of course, this is obviously very one-sided, reaction to this whole thing. But at the same time, we don't fully know exactly what happened here, right? We don't fully know we fully don't know what's going on here. We should know more, hopefully very, very soon. But let's just take a look at this. I think this is a piece of, this might be a second or another reporting, but let's listen to this, and then we got footage that we're going to take a look at.
This officer behind me, we're on Hill Street. The officer is standing at the intersection with Bacon Street, turning cars away from the next street up, which is Pool Street, and we know that's closed. We're seeing several police cruisers up there with officers at both ends. I spoke to a neighbor who lives here on Hill Street, just a few houses down from this intersection. She told me she was woken up around 8 o'clock this morning by the sound of gunshots and then a lot of sirens and this heavy police presence. And we are here.
The sound of gunshots, that's another thing.
That ICE officers were involved in this shooting, but she told me she had not noticed an increased ICE presence or had not heard about them being in this neighborhood. She did comment that she's always felt safe here living on Hill Street and is now questioning her safety this morning. We are still waiting for more details about exactly what happened and the reason for this shooting, but those details have not yet been released.
Okay, so we don't know everything. They don't know everything yet. Media hasn't even gotten anything. There hasn't even been a press conference revolving around this yet. All right, but here's something. Okay, here's another one. Let me just share with y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so again, according to this particular post, and we got to take a lot of these things with the greatest salt. Some people will say things that are true. Some posts will say things that are not true. But we're going to read this. Okay. ICE agents have shot and taken the life of another person, this time in Biddeford, Maine. Witnesses say they heard 5 to 6 gunshots before realizing someone had just been unalived. Right now, the public knows very little about what actually happened. That alone should concern everyone. But, I mean, look at what happened to Salgado in Houston, what happened to Alex Peretti. If we did not, I was saying, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Some of y'all are like, ICE is the bomb. ICE us, baby. F around and find out and all that stuff. But here's the thing, though. Sorry, but if it wasn't for those protesters during, in regards to the Alex Peretti situation, we would not have seen the truth. And we would just have to take ICE's word for it. We would have to take Kristi Noem's word for it, right? And now we're in the same situation. The Renee Good situation, etc. And I know that one's extremely polarizing, that one, the Renee Good situation. But no matter what, these people shouldn't have lost their lives. They shouldn't be having to open fire on those particular people. They shouldn't have had to lie to the general public, to the American people about that. All right? So again, weird. But let's get into this. This is what happens when armed federal agents operate without meaningful accountability. Law enforcement protocols exist to prevent deadly encounters, not just to protect the public, but to protect officers from ending up in situations where they feel they need to use deadly force. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's true. There are protocols. They exist for a reason, but we don't know the full scope of what actually happened here, guys. So we have to also leave that on the table too. That means clearly identifying themselves, using tactics, that reduce confusion and avoiding unnecessarily putting themselves in the path of a moving vehicle. Instead, ICE has repeatedly relied on masked agents, unmarked vehicles, and aggressive tactics that can leave people believing they're being robbed or kidnapped by criminals. I mean, it's a good point. It's, the unmarked vehicles and being all, you know what I mean? All incognito type stuff. That's some wild stuff. I'd be terrified out my mind too if somebody just pulled up, rammed my car out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I'd be tripping, right? Put yourself in that situation. A group of armed, masked men in unmarked vehicles suddenly surrounds your car while often hitting you. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they want. The first instinct is to get away. That is human reaction. It should not a death sentence. It should not lead to a death sentence, okay? Until ICE is held accountable for dangerous tactics that unnecessarily escalate encounters. We're going to keep seeing the same story repeated. Another shooting, another death, another DHS statement lying about what actually happened. Take a look at this. And I want you guys, because there's another angle we're going to see, but this is footage of the situation. There's the man's feet, if I'm correct, on the ground. I'm going to play it once and then I'm going to pause it, okay? Because we need to discuss what we're seeing in this video. You don't see something? Something already sticks out to me. Something already sticks out to me. You tell me if you see what I see. That's loud. And what's sad about this, okay, hold on. Let me move this up a little bit, right about there, because this, I don't want it to be too graphic for everybody. First and foremost, I want to point something out, but here's something. Somebody just asked a question. Antonia, thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate you asking this question. Pascal, don't you own a cell phone and dial 911 if you're fearing for your life? We all know federal ICE agents driving unmarked vehicles. But here's the thing, though. Sure, we may know that they're driving unmarked vehicles. We may know that ICE is out here, lurking, looking for their next person that they're going to get, whether they're a good guy or a bad guy, whether this person's innocent or not. They may have the wrong guy. They may have the right guy. Doesn't matter, right? Everybody's an illegal alien in their minds. Sure. We know that they're driving unmarked vehicles. But when you're driving, minding your own doggone business, say that you're legal. Say that you're not an illegal alien, as they keep saying. Say that you're not. Take that for a minute. You just happen to be brown, or you have melanin in your skin. Melanin. That melanin be popping, baby. You're just driving your car. You're an American citizen, and out of nowhere, It's a mistake, by the way. They come up and they ram your car. Bunch of dudes in an unmarked vehicle with masks on and no tags, no name tags, no nothing, no identity on them at all. They just pull up out of nowhere. Aren't you going to freak the F out? Here's the other thing, too. When it comes to owning your own cell phone, great. Yes, you could call 911. But while you're imagine this, while you're trying to dial 911, they're detaining you. They're busting open your windows. They're grabbing you. They're pulling you out of the car as you're trying to dial 911. You're literally trying to dial 911, and then they're knocking the phone out your hand while you're trying to call 911. So as much as we sit here and say, yeah, don't you own a cell phone? Damn right I do. And damn right I would at least try to call 911 for sure. But they could still use excessive force to take that phone out my hand because they allegedly are above the law. Think about that for a second. Think about that. We've seen it countless times. And in fact, we've seen it even in regular routine traffic stops. We've even seen that where people are just trying to pull up their phone to film. Even the film, because what's the point of calling 911? 911's right there. You see what I'm saying? 50 is right there. So you're trying to pull up the phone to film. People are getting their phones knocked out their hands. People are being messed with, all that stuff, right? So again, all I'm saying is that doesn't work all the time. How's that? Okay? Just saying. But let's talk about this video right here. You don't see something that's a little bit odd? I mean, aside from the person on the ground, that's kind of being, you can't really see the person, okay? Person's on the ground. They're doing what they need to do to try to, they're doing life-saving procedures to try to save this person's life. But look at the car. Look at the cars. Remember, they have a tendency to just go up and boom, the cars. They have a tendency of doing that too, guys. Think about that for a second. Look at that. Does that look like a car that was trying to run over an ICE agent? If this vehicle right here, this white four-door car, my pointer, you can't see my mouse, but if that white car right here, this sedan, is the actual person, his car, if he really was trying to run somebody over, it doesn't look like he was trying to run somebody over. You see what I'm saying? Also, I don't see, and maybe, this is not the greatest video. Maybe I can find a different angle. But from what I'm seeing, that video or the window, unless this, no, it looks like the windshield is intact. Hold on, look. Look at that. I don't see a bullet hole in the windshield or anything. So if there was a pew-pewing, a pulling of the trigger, this had to have been in the front window, one of the front windows, off to the side. Kind of like the Renee Good situation, right? He pulled the trigger in the car. You see what I'm saying? Yes, he got clipped. He definitely did. And then as she's driving away, after the fact, that's when he put the, his gun in the window and started pulling the trigger. So that's a very interesting piece right there. So as you can see, to me, the question is going to be, did they ram the car? Did ICE ram this car because it was trying to get away and may have been driving towards somebody? Or did they ram the car regardless, and then this person tried to get out of the car and they started blasting? So that is a question I have. That's a damn shame. Hold on. Let's take a look. Hmm. I'm checking another live feed here. 1 second, guys. What's interesting is that they are going to be holding. It's interesting because remember that there's the shooting that happened in Houston, right? So apparently, and there was no sound on that. That was just nothing but just it was nothing. But remember the whole shooting that happened with ICE in Houston, right? Apparently, the DA is going to be holding a press conference at noon about that particular shooting, just so y'all know. So interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's going to be happening today at some point. Actually, I'm going to play this so you guys can see what we're talking about. The shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. Hopefully I'm saying that. Araujo. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. Let's take a look at this. Hold on.
Into live now from Fox, continuing to track more of the day's top stories. Now, this next story does take us out to Houston. Questions there continuing to mount after an immigrant was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Houston's East End just last week. It's a story that's been making national headlines. I want to bring us out to a live image that we have over there in Houston, Texas. Now, over the weekend, supporters gathered for vigils and rallies as new details emerge about the shooting and the investigation. Jade Flaherty with our team at Fox 26 in Houston. She is live this morning where the shooting happened, and the memorial is continuing to grow. Jade, what do we know so far?
Yeah, that's right. The memorial is continuing to grow. And at first, the DHS and the FBI, they were the original agencies that were investigating Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's death. But now, because these questions keep growing and people want a transparent investigation, local agencies like the Harris County District Attorney's Office and the Houston Police Department, they are conducting their own independent investigation. Now, let me show you what that memorial looks like. There's a car right now, but you can see there are just signs lined up, flowers laid out, balloons. Some of those signs reading, independent investigation now, justice for Lorenzo. Now, just the background information on this incident is that last week, Salgado Araujo was shot and killed by an ICE agent during a traffic stop on Canal Street. ICE says that the Mexican national did not comply with their commands and tried to ram an ICE vehicle. However, 3 men inside that vehicle told their attorney that that was not the case. They say that the agents were never in front of the vehicle. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia says that she spoke with the acting ICE director, who told her that Araujo was not the target of the enforcement operation. She also says that the agents involved were not wearing body cameras at the time and that the unmarked vehicles used in the operation did not have dash cameras. Now,
that is a huge problem, y'all. Like I said, no body cam footage, no dash cam footage. They're not wearing anything. You see what I'm saying? This is bad. And then you got 3 other guys that were in the van that are basically saying, no, that's not at all what ICE is saying right now is not at all what went down. Now, here's the thing. I have to, don't get it twisted. Let me just say this. There's still a possibility, like, they could still lie. They could. Those people, those guys that were in the car could lie and say, well, and tell a different story. But at the same time, we already have a very interesting relationship with ICE out here in America. So again, especially when they don't have body cam footage, they didn't have body cameras on them. They didn't have dash cam cameras on their cars. Nothing there to depict and showcase what actually went down in this moment. So it's between what ICE is saying and what the people in the car are saying. You see what I'm saying? That's a massive problem. And didn't they get a huge amount of money? Didn't they get millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars specifically for ICE? Did they not just get that just a little while ago? So why aren't they putting the money towards the things that they need to have, that keep them in line, that hold them accountable, stop them from doing illegal things too? Crazy.
Meanwhile, at a vigil over the weekend, community members say that they are standing with Araujo's family and that they want a full account of what happened that day.
The community needs to know that they're not alone, and just to have a moment of mourning and peace. It's important that we are in front of the people that are responsible for the laws that come into effect and affect all of us.
So we do know that Houston Police Chief Noe Diaz says that he is going to meet with the FBI to get more information about this investigation. He says that he is going to use resources to help out the DHS and FBI conduct this investigation in a timely, transparent, and very thorough matter.
Okay, so there's that. So, like I said, not the greatest piece of information when it comes to that. And apparently there's going to be, I meant billions, my bad, anonymous, billions with a B, okay? With a B. Billions of dollars in funding, specifically for ICE. Where's all that good money going, right? Where's all those B's going to? Because it's definitely not going to that reflecting pool. Okay, so again, what's up? What up with that? What up with that, guys? Let's see what's going on over here. Yeah, this sound is trash. Let's see over here. That's a little bit closer to the scene. Looks like somebody got a new TV. Nice big old 55-inch. Damn. Yeah, Chaos. I heard UK is kind of getting a little squirrely up there. Heard Ireland as well.
Probably go right here. Hey, what's up? Yes, I did see that. We want to, like, if we want, we can do a full screen of her of a quote from her, and then I can summarize everyone else.
Dang, hold on. Trying to see if I can find.
And if you are just joining us, we want to let you know.
Take a look at this.
Okay, will that pop up?
Hold on a second.
Will I be on cam reading it, or will it be on the screen? Okay, would it be like on cam, full screen, on cam, sound, on cam, and the live?
Doable.
Okay.
Could be better though.
Okay.
But they moved on the other side. Yeah.
We can definitely go in there. It's for a live shot.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if there's any eyewitness.
Her statement, and then I'll talk about what Pingree was.
I'm wondering if there's any eyewitnesses. Anybody that was in the area, you know, that we heard somebody say that they heard things. They were in earshot of things, but I want to know if there's anybody out there that like actually saw something, right?
Actually, is it too loud for that?
Oh. Finally some sound on this mug. And then it's off again. What? Thank you, Nicola. Appreciate it. Yeah, Anonymous. Maybe some ring cams. Maybe some ring cams. We're going to continue on. This is, if he reports something, he reports something. If he reports something, he reports something. Let me see what's going on here. Nope.
I have been briefed on the fatal shooting in Biddeford this morning involving federal law enforcement. I know that situations like these are alarming and frightening. The Maine State Police are at the scene supporting and working cooperatively with the Attorney General's office, Maine's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, and federal officials to determine the facts of what occurred this morning. And that's the end of Mill's statement, but we also heard from Shelley Pingree. She says she was actually on her way to Washington this morning when the...
That's crazy. Okay. So that's how the sausages are made. Interesting. Right? Okay. They just lost the feed. That's interesting. Let's take a look at this.
That we are continuing to monitor a deadly shooting out of Maine. This is involving an ICE agent. So what you're seeing right here is video that we recorded on from stations up in Maine earlier. So we know that this happened earlier this morning. We're told a person was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Biddeford, Maine. So this is about 35 minutes south of Portland, Maine, if you're familiar with that area. So we're still working to learn more information at this hour into really what happened. We do know that House Speaker of Maine did go on Facebook and post a message. We want to read part of that right now as you take a look at your screen. So he posted a message to residents and Mainers saying, "This morning a shooting occurred in Biddeford. A person was killed. ICE was involved. State police and Department of Public Safety are now on scene to gather details and would expect the FBI to investigate as well. These are details that I have at this time. I will provide further updates as they are relayed to me. So that was posted about an hour ago on his Facebook page. And again, that's pretty much all the information we know right now. We do believe that, again, as he mentioned, the FBI possibly could be looking into this at some point. But again, the video that you're seeing on your screen is from earlier this morning, about an hour and a half ago, that we rolled on. But I do want to give you some context because this comes
wow,
just a week,
wow,
over a week that a person was shot and killed.
Yo, we got some breaking news. Whoa. We'll come back to that in a second. Woo, we got some footage. If this is real, we got some footage. Okay. Here we go. This is what they're saying here. All right. They're saying ICE agents' fatal shooting footage from Biddeford, Maine has been released by Portland Press Herald. So here is the footage. This is very interesting. Take a look at this. That was 4 shots, if that's correct. And the car is already damaged. Yeah, Tammy, I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. No, it's not on slow-mo. That's not slow-mo. Because the car that's driving by right here is driving in regular speed. So because if this was in slow-mo, this car would be driving super slow. See this car right here? So this person is like driving in a circle. It doesn't look like to me that this person's trying to run over ICE. It looks like this person's trying to get out of, like, trying to, bang a Yui and try to leave. But he may have already been hit when the car was driving in circles like that. And also, here's the other thing too. The weird, like, pack, pack, you hear that little pop sounds? That sounds like, to me, those are gunshots. So what in the... So I'm going to play this again, but I think that weird, like, cracking sound, those popping sounds, those are actual gunshots. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. But it seems like the person had already been hit and maybe they were gone. Like, bang, and the car he just kind of like passed away on the wheel, and the car was still moving, and the wheel was turned, and it's just turning in circles. You see what I'm saying? And then you got an ICE agent trying to get into the actual car, running around the car, but they kept pulling the trigger, which makes no sense. So he may have been unalived. He may have been dead, driving in circles. Yeah. So this looks like the aftermath, at least. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like what we're seeing here is a shot of him after this particular guy was shot, like after the fatal shot. Does that make sense? And if that's the case, then they did too much because he was already gone, or at least passed out from being hit, from being shot. I digress. I'm going to play one more time. This is crazy. Yeah, it sounds like firecrackers. Perfect example. Thank you. Damn. And we just had the 4th of July, and I couldn't even think of firecrackers. The sounds of firecrackers, it sounds like bottle rockets going off. I believe that those are still them pulling the trigger, and I think he's already dead. And yes, you hear somebody in there screaming, "Stop the car, stop the car." So I don't know if they didn't realize that he had already like passed out and he's done, and the car was just driving on its own, or if they really thought that this guy was still alive and they wanted to make sure he was neutralized as quickly as possible. I don't know. Let's take a listen. Wait. That's 2 shots in the beginning right there. So, that's like more like 6 shots, if that's correct. Like, and it could very well be, yeah, it could also be, it sounds like 6 or 7 to me, but it also could be like the guy adjusting his hand on the microphone, and maybe the microphone is there's a little pop noise coming from the microphone, him adjusting and all that, right? So that could be it too, or it could actually be the shots fired. I don't know yet. I don't know. It could be either or. It could be it can be either or. It could be both at the same time. But homeboy, I think he gone. I don't think that car is going in circles for ish and giggles. Okay, I think he was driving in circles because he was already unalived. He was already unalived as it was already doing its turn. Does that make any sense? I'm going to play one more time. You guys tell me. I'm just going to let it play. It's weird because like you could see this guy right here, the ICE agent, kind of almost like he ducks in a way. It almost seems like he ducks right around here while while somebody's pulling the trigger. Take a look at this. See that? He kind of does one of those things. As if he's either trying to duck because he doesn't want to get in the line of fire, or maybe he's pulling the trigger himself. I don't know, but he seems to be reacting while somebody's pulling the trigger. And I don't know if it's him that's pulling the trigger on his side, on the driver's side right there, or not. But this is very, very weird. I'm sorry, guys. We're probably going to circle back to this again to just reanalyze it again after we get some more information. But you know what I mean? Looking at this, it just seems something's off, y'all. Something's off. But I think he's gone. The driver in this car has already lost his life as it's making its circle around. He's already gone. That's what I think. So I think what we're seeing is after the fact, because obviously we're not seeing him getting pulled over. We're not seeing the car, the unmarked ICE car ramming up against the car or anything of that sort, which is also interesting. Because we see later the car, that white sedan, nose to nose with the unmarked ICE vehicle SUV as well. While they're doing life preserving, procedures outside on the ground, the cars are like at a T, like this. So I'm wondering what's up here. I'm going to play one more time. Okay. But this is all breaking news, guys. Breaking news. New footage has come out. It gives us something. It doesn't give us everything, but it does give us something. Let's take a look. One more time, guys. Yeah, something weird going on here. But hold on. There might be more here. There might be more. There might be more. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to this footage here. Okay. Go back to this footage here. Take a look at this. Okay. Yeah, Alante. Yeah, I agree. I think that that was definitely a death roll. I don't think he was trying to run anybody over, but they thought that he was. But I feel like if the dude's like this, slumped over, I feel like that's a dead giveaway that he gone. So you don't need to be pulling the trigger that much, in my personal opinion. Okay, but look at this. See here? See right here? See this ish right here? It's in a T, right? Now, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they took the car, you know what I mean, and tried to, I don't know. I don't know why they did it like that. All right? I don't know why they did that. But that's after the fact. Just so you know. That's after the fact. If we have this correct, if we have this timeline correct, what we just saw was before they teed off the cars. And then they pulled him out of the car, and now at that time they were doing life as much as they could to try to save his life after the fact. But he also sounds like he may have been shot more than just one time. If what we're hearing in that video, if that's correct, we're hearing more. Like, he may have been hit more than just one time. So again, what really happened here? That's only one piece. That's only one piece, but let's see this piece now. Okay? This is after the car was driving in circles. The car was driving in circles because that was a dead Yui. Okay? That was a dead U-turn. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. Just saying, it was a dead U-turn. Real talk. So yeah, something seems weird. Yeah, it was a death roll. You know what I mean? Which seems a little bit strange to me. Obviously, there's the post that was made by a representative. All right. Of course, we've already seen it, but I'm going to show it to you guys again because, again, some of y'all may not know. It says fellow Biddeford residents and Mainers. I'm sorry. This morning, a shooting occurred in Biddeford. A person was unalived. ICE was involved. State police and Department of Public Safety are now on the scene to gather details and would expect the FBI to investigate as well, which now we know the FBI is involved. They are investigating. Okay. These are the details that I have at this time. I will provide further updates as they are relayed to me. So there's that too, just so you guys know what's going on. And for those of y'all who are getting here that are late to the show, late to the party, there has been a shooting that happened in Biddeford, Maine. Like I just said a second ago, a person, we don't know the gender. Okay. We don't know whether it's male or female, but there is somebody that did lose their life. They're saying that allegedly this person the streets are saying, all right, the streets are saying that this particular person tried to run over ICE with their vehicle. So an ICE agent pulled out their weapon and pulled the trigger. All right. Now, I'm curious if that's actually true. I am. I know some people are going to be feeling some type of way regardless, but about that. But I do have some questions about what is true and what is not true. Okay. And yes, everything is still, yes, Sally, you're right. Okay. Everything is still developing. We don't know everything as of yet, but all we can do is ask the questions. All we can do is ask questions and see what is going on here. Looks like we got a few other angles here, but this is not during the shooting. This is all after the shooting, just so y'all know. But this is another video. So I'm assuming this is the guy who's involved. I don't know. I'm assuming this is one of the guys that's involved. I'm assuming this guy right here. Okay. Right here. I'm assuming. I could be wrong. But I'm assuming he's one of the guys that was involved. One of the guys that was involved. We'll see. We'll see. But how they're treating him seems very interesting. He's like, "Oh, come on over here, brother." And he's like, "I don't know, man." And you know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good, brother. Hand on the shoulder. You know, we're going to take care of you, brother. We're going to take care of you. It's all good. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? He put his hands on his head and everything. You see that? Okay. Put his hands on his head and everything. You know, it's kind of like, it's all good. Everything's going to be all right. We're going to take care of you, brother. You know what I mean? That's just the vibe I'm getting. So he may have been a witness to everything, or maybe he was involved. You know what I mean? He was a witness, or he was involved, or he was the one who actually was the one who pulled the trigger. We'll find out, though. Hand on his back and everything. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Again, like I said, we don't know everything yet. We don't know everything yet. I'm hoping that they give us something here soon. Yeah, this is sideways. I'm just giving you a heads up. This is sideways. It's going to look a little weird, but this is what it looks like. So we're going to be doing that whole remember in sitcom comedies back in the day, whenever there was like a joke about like doing the hibbity dibbity on video, like, the people would be reacting to an S tape or like, you know what I mean? Spicy content. They'd all do this. Anybody remember that in like sitcoms? They'd be like, that's kind of what we're going to have to do here. And no, this isn't anybody bumping uglies, but you get what I'm saying, right? Anybody else know what I'm talking about? Random ADHD moment. Let's continue. Yeah. So this must be the guy. This must be the guy. He's one of the guys, at least, right? Let's see. Kimberly in Japan. Hold on. Kimberly in Japan, thank you so much for being a member for the past 44 months. Wow. Thank you so much. Almost 4 whole years. That's insane. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. What is true, what is not? I believe that is the most important. While so many people focus on beliefs/speculation, it's a mad world. Just saying. Yes. I am hoping that we actually get some facts that are actually true and that are not just a bunch of BS, like a big fat ass fugazi. I'm really hoping that that's the case here very, very soon, but you never know. You never know, Kimberly in Japan. I appreciate you and all the support. I really do. And thank you so much for the comment. But yeah, that is pretty insane that we can't even just get the facts without the bias, So hopefully we do get the facts and only the facts. But it looks like to me that guy is either involved or he is the one who pulled the doggone trigger. That's the only other thing I can think of right now. Yeah, there's a lot there's a few things I can't show you. There's a few things I can't show you guys, unfortunately. But we will. Hold on, I'm checking a few things here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are talking about that particular video, the one where he's like driving in circles. A lot of people are asking questions, on whether or not that's considered someone trying to run over ICE agents. I'm going to pull up a few opinions here real quick. Take a look at this, too. Let's take a look at what this guy had to say.
Where's the body camera footage? All right. Hey, body camera footage should be made available to everyone because you know what that does? It takes out all the he said, she said, right? It holds the officers accountable, all the agents accountable, and it holds the people that are offending accountable.
I agree. I'm sorry. I already know some people who already have the bias of like, the ICE has done no wrong. They'll sit there and say ICE baby and all that stuff, right? They'll say that this whole situation is justified, etc. just because it's ICE. They don't care whether or not bad has done, wrong has been done, foul play on or a mistake was made on ICE's side. They'll just say whatever because they just don't want to be wrong and they think that ICE could do no wrong. But here's the thing. This is the reason why body cam cameras, dash cam cameras exist. This is the reason why they exist. To keep all of us accountable. If the perpetrator or the person that they're trying to actually take down is in the wrong, then we see it. And then we go, you know what? You right. He was wrong. He did wrong on that, right? But if it's something that ICE does that's illegal or wrong or a huge mistake or an obvious cover-up, we see it in real time. But the thing is we're not going to see those things if they're not held to a certain standard. If they're just like cowboys out here and they can wrangle whoever the F they want at any time because they're not being watched, bad things like this are going to just continue to happen. We already talked about this with the Renee Good situation. This is the same thing that we talked about with the Alex Preddy situation. And we damn for sure are talking about it with the whole Lorenzo Salgado Arujo. Hopefully I'm saying that right. You know, the whole Salgado Arujo situation in Houston. Transparency, exactly. Copper Mountain. Transparency is everything. So for those of y'all who are like, yeah, you know, Ice Baby and all that, I hate to say it, but if they continue to walk around these streets without the proper devices that hold them accountable and us accountable, then it's all he said, she said at this point. And it will only get worse from here because you already know the internet streets are out here. The internet streets are out here and they already have a bias. They already have an opinion. And they will move the goalpost as best as they can for their own bias by spreading lies and spreading rumors because there's no footage, because there's no evidence. You see what I'm saying? Look at what we're dealing with the whole Nolan Wells case. Haven't we seen enough BS with the Nolan Wells case? It's a whole lot of speculation, a whole lot of crap, because there's no footage, or at best, a minimum of footage. But people are trying to run with it because it has to be a black and white thing or something of that sort, right? So again, having body cameras would be good. Straight up. Body cameras, dash cameras are something that will really help out here. Or people are just going to run with it and make things up. And then sadly, those things, depending on how strong that bias is, it becomes truth. It's bad.
Okay. This is the second ICE-related shooting where a person uses their vehicle as a deadly weapon. And yes, you can use your vehicle as a deadly weapon. The truth is, the country, even though you didn't, but the country voted for a guy who is really leaning into this policy, okay? And I get it. There's a ton of people in this country illegally, right, that shouldn't be here, right? Rapists, murderers, criminals. But there's also a ton of people who are here illegally, but, you know, are not any of those, okay? Like the guy last week, you know, he wasn't even the target of the ICE operation, but ended up getting killed in the process. It's a complicated situation when you have guys pulling you over in unmarked vehicles. You know, it's interesting, right? It's a tough situation. Let me tell you something. There was no body cameras last week. If regular officers of the law have to wear body cameras because it holds everybody accountable, that's why they did it, right? Because there was too much he said, she said. Right? There's a lot of shady stuff the officers were doing, and there's a lot of shady stuff the criminals were saying, okay? So it holds everybody accountable when they have body camera footage, and that body camera footage should be available to the public. You know, I've seen some ICE-related shootings that I thought were justified and not justified. One that was justified, in my opinion, was that crazy lady going around honking her horn and then, you know, driving her car towards the officer. I know people think that he shouldn't have shot that lady, but let me tell you something, vehicles can kill you, okay? Alex Preddy situation.
Yeah, he's talking about Renee Good.
Are you kidding me? They took the weapon off of them. And yeah, he's an asshole. He's a dick. He's protesting. You don't get to shoot him while 10 people are on him, and they didn't release the body camera footage for that when they had body cameras. Some ICE agents have body cameras, some don't. We need consistency. We need accountability. I don't know what happened here. No one knows what happened here. Everybody's going to make their own narrative because whatever. But we need to have body camera footage so that we know that these guys, who are poorly trained, by the way, are actually saying and doing what they say they were doing.
I agree. I mean, you know, he just basically is reiterating what I just said. Okay. And again, like, these guys are not properly trained. What are they getting? 47 days or something like that of training? 47 days, and then they're thrown out there, and they're getting paid copious amounts of money, 6 figures a year. A good portion of these guys are getting fed very, very well. Just saying. Very, very well. Hold on. We're moving on. Yeah, but that footage is very interesting. And now I really want to know if they're going to give us any more information than what we've heard so far. Let's take a look at this here, too. This lady kept talking. Let's take a look.
Way to my exercise class, as you can see, so I'm not looking my best, but.
Okay, Brad. What's your name?
Marsha Lipschitz Haynes.
I spell Marsha.
M-A-R-C-I-A.
Spell your last name?
L-I-F-S-H-I-T-Z.
Oh, come on.
New organization. People who work for ICE are untrained.
Okay, so she's just going in on ICE. Hold on. That whole, like, their sound is trash. Absolute trash. Hold on. Oh, people pissed. This just got posted too. Let's take a look at this. People are angry. Damn. Look at this.
Fuck you! What are you gonna do about it? Huh? What are you gonna fucking do about it? Fuck you! Do it! Fucking do it! You white supremacist piece of shit! Look at you! Look in the mirror! Look in the mirror! Don't take your food stamps to buy their food! Fuck you!
You want to know? This is the sad part. Ladies and germs, this is the sad part. You see what's going on? You see what's going on? We don't even know everything yet. And people are already out there being like, yeah. And then other people are like, man, we don't know everything yet.
Fuck you! They're shooting people in the street! They're shooting people in the street! I know that! Fuck you! What are you gonna do about it? Huh? What are you gonna fucking do about it? Fuck you! Do it! Fucking do it! You white supremacist piece of shit! Look at you! Look in the mirror! Look in the mirror! Don't take your food stamps to buy their food! Fuck you! Fuck you! They're shooting people in the street! They're shooting people in the street! I know that!
Yikes. We don't know everything yet, right? What is this? Portland Press Herald? Let me see. Let's see what they're saying. Live updates from the Portland Press Herald. Let's see here. Hold on, loves. Let's take a gander. So it's saying local leader calls for transparent investigation. Hold on. Residents, we're going to go down a little bit. Crowds gather in protest, but that happened. I mean, that was happening a little bit ago, so I don't know if that's happening right now. I haven't seen any proof of protest out there yet, but we will look at it if that is true. Okay. Witness saw a gunshot victim bleeding. Ooh, shoot. It was straight to the dome, guys. All right, but let me see. Oh, okay. So bullet holes were found in the windshield. The footage that we saw wasn't that good, but it shows it right there. Bullet holes in the windshield. Several bullet holes are scattered across the front windshield of a white Kia sedan after a white police SUV had smashed into it at the intersection of Hill Street. and Pool Street in Biddeford. So again, that doesn't make any sense. The car smashes up against the white sedan after he had already lost his life? You get what I'm saying, though, right? Does that make any earthly sense to you? Does that make any earthly sense to you? Fam, think about it. Does this make any earthly sense to you? We saw the car driving in circles. I'm going to pull it up in a little bit. I told you guys we would go back to it again. All right. Yeah, it was a headshot. Bow. Right? So the car was seen driving in circles. He was already unalived. I'm assuming. I think that was a dead roll. Like that was a death roll. A death Yui. Okay, and I'm sure if anything, it probably would have just kept driving in circles if they didn't chase it down and try to stop the car, right? So, but that SUV, this SUV right here, was not anywhere. I mean, it was in the area, but it wasn't near the car. It wasn't near this white sedan. So make it make sense. Again, they could have used it to try to stop the car, but it didn't. I didn't see anybody running to the SUV to try to see if they can get in front of it and try to tee it off so it can slow down, right? So that doesn't make any sense. But again, you see bullet holes in the windshield. You see bullet holes in the windshield. Yeah. Take a look. SUV is right here. White SUV is right where my mouse is, right here, circling around the SUV right there. That's the SUV. This is the four-door sedan that they teed off. So again, why, if this was a dead roll, if this was a death roll, right? And the car's just going around in circles like this. And they're trying to slow it down, or they're trying to stop it. I don't see any ICE agent run into the car right now, at least in this video. I know it's only 18 seconds long. But you get what I'm saying, though, right? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm playing it again. Like it almost seems, hold on. Now that I'm looking at this, it almost seems like this officer that's walking towards the vehicle, you'll see him up at the top here. All right? I know it's very hard to see, but you'll see him come up over the top, like come over in this direction. It almost looks like it seems as if he pulls the trigger dead, like straight at the windshield at that time. There's already a shot that was done. It was a bang, bang. And then you'll see it again. It's like, it almost like seems like he shoots it again, but the dude's already gone. That's what I think. I think it's a death roll. This is a dead roll right now. Hear me out. We're going to break it down. So in the very beginning, it's two shots. Two shots, right? Right there. I think at this point, he gone. Circling around. You heard that shot. And another shot. The guy is walking over. And then it passes him. So again, it's like, did he also have a weapon on him? Think about that too. We're instantly going, oh, the ICE agents, they done mucked up. But what if what if the driver had an actual weapon on him too? What are the chances? And maybe as he died, maybe he squeezed the trigger and it went off, right? But it looks like they opened fire on him for sure. That's if he had a weapon, but it just seems weird unless the guy that's running with him, trying to like open the door to the car, pulls the trigger one more time. You see what I'm saying? Like he just pulls the trigger on him one more time. Look, very beginning. This is just guesstimation. This is just me shooting in the dark. Okay, I'm just shooting in the dark. This is just reanalyzing this video and going over it a couple times. It seems as if something else happened here. Okay. So in the very beginning, 2 shots, bang, bang, right? 2 shots. Car starts to turn around. I think at that point, he gone. Okay. He no longer on this planet. He has crossed over, right? So now here's the thing. You see this weird blob right here? That is another ICE agent walking towards the sedan right now as we speak. Okay? And then you hear 2 other shots. 2 shots. Bang, bang. I'm thinking that maybe he thought that the car was heading toward him. So he said, no, not on my watch. Bang, bang. It looks like through the windshield at least, right? Moving on. Hand is stuck in the window. That is a hand in the window. Full-on arm in the window. This agent. At least that's what it looks like to me. You see that? Do it one more time here. After that shot. Full on hand, like his whole arm is in that mug. Full on arm in that mug. And I think it's 2 guys there. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like 2. It looks like 2. At least that's what it looks like to me. So in other words, this guy bangs a Yui. Shots fired, shots fired. Interesting, right? I got questions. Sounds to me like shots fired, shots fired. Right about here. Hold on. Bang, bang. Shots fired, shots fired. That's what it sounds like. He could be saying anything. You know what I mean? But it sounds like he's saying shots fired, shots fired. That's so crazy. Oh, that's crazy. I got questions, guys. I got questions, but we're going to continue on. All right. Bullets in the windshield. That's recreation. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Media gathering at St. James School. Witness saw a gunshot. Okay, so he was bleeding from the head. Okay, because it was a headshot, or at least there was one headshot. All right. Someone said that they saw the man, who has not been identified by authorities yet at all, get out of the car while. Wow. So he got out of the car. Wow. This guy allegedly got out of the car and he was leaking profusely from the head. This guy. When you saw, GSW bleeding from the head. 2 residents who live in the intersection of Pool and Hill Streets say they heard gunshots and watched Monday morning as agents tried to stop a car driven by a man who had been hit. So look, if you see that right there, a car driven by a man who had just been hit. So they're looking at a situation where, like we saw the dead roll. He was driving in a circle. He was already incapacitated, basically. Okay? Passed out after getting shot. Right? So, yeah. And yes, GSW means gunshot wound. All right? We try to use as many code words as we can, especially when it comes to violent stuff like this, okay? So, of course, people are gathering in the area. Police have confirmed ICE is involved in a statement media Monday. Monday morning, Biddeford Police Department said it would not be releasing any more updates on the actual shooting. The department said it responded to calls about the incident at the corner of Pool and Hill Streets on Monday morning and confirmed that the shooting involved personnel from ICE. Okay, so Portland City councilors are responding to the situation. In a statement on social media, they said they won't speculate on details we don't have yet. The Trump administration's immigration enforcement, quote unquote, runs on fear, not safety. This is what a counselor said. Interesting. Residents say ICE was active in Biddeford in the recent weeks. Several people who live near the location of Monday's shooting said they had seen and heard about increased ICE activity in recent weeks. They chased down, quote unquote, a bunch of guys working on a roof down the street a week or two ago. This is what a neighbor said. They all ran. I saw one guy jump off the roof to get away. They left all their equipment on top of the roof. That is sad. Sad stuff. Candidates are now criticizing ICE on social media. Candidates for Maine's U.S. Senate seat, let's just say that, have been speaking out and are basically saying, abolish ICE, I guess, too. Numerous Maine Democrats hoping to replace Graham Plattner on the U.S. Senate ballot because he got accused of SA. Let's not forget that. Okay. Weighed in on the situation that happened today on social media. The contenders who lost primaries last month for offices such as governor and for the U.S. House have all, more or less, called for eliminating or sharply restructuring ICE. Someone is dead. I don't have details and won't speculate, but this is at least the 11th fatal shooting involving ICE or Border Patrol under Trump. It is time to get ICE off our streets. This is what a Secretary of State Bellows tweeted recently. They're saying this incident could add to the growing list of ICE shootings. I don't think it could. I mean, it is. It is an ICE-involved shooting. Whether this ends up being that they were in the right or if they were in the wrong, it doesn't matter. It's still an ICE. It's still an ICE situation. Okay, so we already know that. But the Guardian reported last week that there had been 10 fatal shootings nationwide since President Trump was elected to a second term and made immigration enforcement a top priority. The AP, Associated Press, has documented 8 shootings. A woman drives from Kennebunk, I don't know, to protest in Bedford against ICE. Interesting. Rachel Phipps drove up from Kennebunk, I guess, on Monday morning to protest ICE presence in Bedford, or in Biddeford. Sorry, I keep on saying Bedford. Biddeford, following the unaliving of someone on Pool Street. I want to make sure whoever was just unalived here in Biddeford, that everyone knows their name by tomorrow, she said. Is there more? Phipps works with the immigrant community in York County. She ran in the Democratic primary for Senate District 135 and lost, but she said she felt it was important to make sure the community remembers the victim with the same fervor as victims like Renee Good and Alex Preddy. So Governor Mills, Janet Mills, said she's being briefed on the shooting. She said she put out a brief statement just a little bit ago saying that she's being briefed on the actual fatal shooting in Biddeford this morning involving federal law enforcement. So the Maine State Police are at the scene supporting and working cooperatively with the Attorney General's office, Maine's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, and federal officials to determine the facts of what occurred this morning. So we're still waiting. Residents are reacting to the actual shooting. So one resident doesn't live near the scene, but she said she's shocked and upset. I can't believe it. It makes me so sad. Another person, a part of a community organization, said the organization is deeply saddened and expects full, transparent explanation of what actually happened. Biddeford will stick together as we continue to face the impact of ICE in Maine. Ward 5 Councilor Kurtz was on his way to protest at Mechanics Park late Monday morning. God help us all, he said. So a lot of people are just demanding transparency, right? A lot of people are demanding transparency, which I'm not surprised by it. Let's see here. What was that? Where did it go? Portland Press Herald. Hold on. Check a few things here real quick. Yep, people are out. Yeah, people are showing up. People are showing up. Damn. Take a look at this. Yeah, so that's actually happening right now, allegedly, or it's going on right now. That's not live. That's just, people out here mad. People out here mad.
So can you please walk us through what you lived this morning, what you heard? I was drinking my coffee, and I heard a gunshot. I thought it was a backfire, and then I kept hearing them, and I thought it was a drive-by shooting. And so I get up and look out the window, and I see a small white car being corralled by two men trying to stop it from losing control around the intersection. And all of a sudden, all these plainclothes vested men started running down the street, abandoning their cars kind of everywhere with regular people behind them. And I didn't see him, the white car that's in front of his vehicle. He just came and slowly just wedged it closed. Like the car wasn't out of control that I saw. And that's what I saw until EMS arrived pretty late.
Okay. So they did wedge the car up against that white sedan to try to stop it from going crazy, from driving in circles. The other part that I think is interesting that she said so far too is that there were other people that were there were other agents that just like abandoned their cars and started kicking rocks. Like, that's weird, right? Yeah, she's definitely traumatized, whatever she saw, you know? I'm going to roll that back just a little bit so we can hear a little bit more of that, and then we'll continue.
And I didn't see him, the white car that's in front of his vehicle. He just came and slowly just wedged it closed. Like the car wasn't out of control that I saw. And that's what I saw until EMS arrived pretty late. And the bus then pulled up to the side street there, and that's when they kind of shut everything down.
Learning what happened, what goes through your mind, especially living right where it happened, right in front of where it happened.
It shatters the illusion that Maine is safe. This is my home of 34 years. And with Lewiston happening, and you hear about the violence that happens everywhere else, and you're ignorant to think that it can't happen here. And it's really upsetting that you don't think about it until it does happen here. I don't know what he did, but he didn't deserve to be executed in the street. I didn't hear anything until the gunshots, so I don't know anything other than that he's dead.
Did you see him laying in the street after the fact?
No, I didn't. The car pretty much effectively blocked it really well. But it wasn't like a high-speed crash or anything. It just was like a gentle wedge, and then men were walking up with cases and stuff, and that's all I was able to see, fortunately.
Did you notice anything identifiable with the authorities that were involved here, whether it be DHS or ICE? Could you tell who they were with?
I saw the green vests and the yellow writing, but at the time it wasn't really processing exactly who it was until there was a man here recording as well, who confirmed it was ICE. It definitely crossed my mind, but when he said that, that's when it became real.
That detail, understanding that this apparently was a deadly ICE shooting. Do you have any reaction to that portion of this?
It's just hard because you know how ignorant people are, and how many people are going to say that this man deserved to die. So I guess that's what I'm struggling with the most, I guess, is, you read ignorantly online everything that is happening, and it's you weren't there. You don't know what happened.
CBS 13 is on your side.
I think it's really sad. I mean, to have to go through that experience, right? To see something like that right there in your backyard, your front, in your neighborhood, right down the street, right in front of you, et cetera. That's pretty crazy. And very sad. But the thing is that they haven't really given us much information. There is some breaking news, so we're going to look at that here right now. And it's about 12 minutes old. But at the same time, it's where's the transparency? What's going on here? When is this press conference? Are they going to have a press conference? Because we'd all like to know what the F is going on, right? We all want to know what's popping here. You remember, this particular person that was in that car could very well be in the wrong. I know. I know. For those of y'all who don't want to hear that, he may be in the wrong. But then yet he may not. So what the hell happened here, right? Where's the transparency? So let's see. Hopefully we'll get some more information here.
Speaker Ryan Fecteau, a Biddeford resident, reports one person is dead after a shooting involving ICE. The shooting happened this morning near Poole Street and Foss Streets. Officials have since blocked off the area several blocks away from where this happened. Biddeford police say they've responded to provide scene security, but they say they will not be the ones speaking about the shooting itself. We're just seeing new video captured nearby where you can hear the shots. Take a look.
Whoa! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Hold on.
Is that a car?
That was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That
5.
person captured on a doorbell camera what sounded like the gunshots. We're following all of this with team coverage. Sam DeCosta is hearing from lawmakers. Max Williams
5.
is near an emergency rally just getting underway. But first, let's get right over to Brad Rogers with what we know right now. Brad?
That's crazy.
Well, we first learned of the shooting through House Speaker Ryan Fecteau, who is from Biddeford. He confirmed this morning that following that one person is dead after a shooting involving ICE agents here in Biddeford. Now, Governor Mills says she has also been briefed on the shooting, but is not releasing details at this time. The incident happened sometime around 7:30 this morning, 2 blocks west of Alfred Street on Poole Street. Right now, Maine State Police, the FBI are on the scene investigating. At this point, we do not know the circumstances that led to the shooting, and that will be the big question, really. What happened to prompt the use of deadly force among ICE agents? After fatal ICE shootings in Minnesota and Texas, today's shooting is already sparking outrage here in Biddeford and throughout the state from people who oppose President Trump's detentions of who ICE agents identify as being in this country illegally. Olivia Clay lives a block from where the deadly shooting took place. She told us she never heard the shots being fired this morning.
I'm disgusted. This is horrible. I mean, the citizens of this country are literally being gunned down in the street for doing nothing, for the color of their skin.
Told members of the press that to go to a staging area 8 blocks from the crime scene where there might be a press conference. That press conference has since been canceled. Biddeford police are directing all inquiries right now to immigrations and customs enforcement, who are not releasing any details yet about this morning's deadly shooting. Well, I've been
Yeah, why? Why aren't they giving us more details? Like, if this was just a simple, like, I hate to say the simple, okay? I hate to say simple, but I just need to be real. You mean to tell me that you can't give us at least a quick breakdown of what, you know how many times we've seen like mass tragedies, and then it'll be like, they go in, they do something unthinkable, like taking out 2 or 3 people, but then they do an immediate, and then the person gets neutralized, or they do something to themselves, if you get what I'm saying, and then the threat is gone. So they instantly do a press conference because there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to show, like, there's no reason for police to have, or, in that situation. Police are involved in that situation. So it's not like they really have to sit there and go like, we were in the wrong, therefore this, that, and the third. No, they just go, hey, the threat is gone. We responded at this place, at this time, where we found the assailant. It seemed to have happened that he turned the weapon onto himself, or they'll sit there and go, we had to neutralize the guy, right? That's what usually happen, and it's within seconds when they're in the right. When they're in the right. But in this one, they're going, we're not giving you guys any more information. We're not telling you anything right now. We'll have a press conference when the press conference is due. What? I mean, hear what he said. Hold up.
For Brad Rogers. Press conference, that press conference. To go to a staging area 8 blocks from the crime scene where there might be a press conference. That press conference has since been canceled.
Somebody just said, there you go, Pascal, just fabricating the story. No, I'm not. He just said it. So he must be fabricating. This reporter must be fabricating the story. Hold on. For those of y'all in the nosebleed seats, let me play one more again.
The crime scene where there might be a press conference. That press conference has since been canceled.
Since has been canceled. Oh, but wait. There's more.
Biddeford police are directing all inquiries right now to immigrations and customs enforcement, who are not releasing any details yet about this morning's deadly shooting.
Thank you. You tell me. You tell me. They were supposed to have a presser, and then they canceled it. And now they're going, any information, you're going to have to get it from ICE and the FBI and blah, blah, blah. We can't tell you anything right now. The what? Why can't you tell us what's going on, baby? Why can't you give us the breakdown of what's popping off in these streets and what actually happened here? There's a lot of traumatized people. There's a lot of angry people out here in these streets demonstrating and whatnot. Aren't they not? So you see what I'm saying? Usually when it comes to a tragedy like this, especially when it's like they did nothing wrong, they're completely in the right, so on and so forth, they will be real quick to jump into a press conference, jump right in front of that microphone and go, so we had an assailant. His name is Juan Gonzalo, something like that, right? We pulled him over at this particular place. He opened fire at us. We returned fire. That neutralized him, and now he is gone. He was an illegal, and we were trying to take him down. That's what they will do. But they're not doing it that time. They're not doing it now. They're going, well, we're still looking into things, and we were going to have a press conference, but we're not doing that press conference now. So when are they going to do the press conference? I'm not fabricating nothing. I'm reading exactly what is on this script that they just fed us. There is no reading between the lines. Something is up. Now, I'm not sitting here saying cover up. All I'm saying is something is up. And if it was a simple situation of the person that they were trying to get was completely in the wrong and did something wrong here, they'd be on that microphone within the hour saying, hey, here's a breakdown of what's going on. Period. But that's not what's going on. Now, is it? Now, again, you never know. You never know. Anything's possible in the next couple hours. Maybe they're just trying to get a few more pieces of information, and then we'll hear something soon, right? We'll see a press conference soon. But the fact that they're saying there's no press conference right now as we speak, as of like 20 minutes ago, this is what this video was posted 20 some odd minutes ago. Sure, things are subject to change, but at least as of recently, as of late, they're saying nope. Nope. We'll let you know when we know. Crazy.
Well, I've been Biddeford. Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News. Back to you.
Brad, thanks. Meantime, we're tracking an emergency rally underway right now at Mechanics Park. Let's bring in our Max Williams, who is live in Biddeford. And Max, you've been speaking with people there. What are they telling you?
Asia, well, first, let me just walk you through what this protest is like right now. As you mentioned, we're at Mechanics Park in downtown Biddeford, and as you can see behind me, this crowd is pretty large right now, and it's growing by the minute. We got here a little bit before noon, and there was probably roughly maybe 50 people. Now, I would say there's definitely over 100, and people are honking their cars. People have drums and anti-ice signs. It is definitely a very active scene down here, and there's actually groups of people you can't see in the camera frame, but there's groups of people that are coming down Main Street here to this protest. So I expect this to possibly get even larger, but I do want to bring you to some sound that we got earlier this morning from a man who drove all the way from Portland, and he had an anti-ice sign. He was standing in front of the crime scene, and he told us that, and we actually heard this from other neighbors as well, we haven't been able to confirm this through officials, that the man that was allegedly shot was a young father. He got emotional when talking about that.
Motivated by an ideology that is not American.
It's American to try to provide for your family. I feel for the family that is missing their father today. I want ICE out of my state. I want them defunded. I want this to be a matter of local enforcement, not federal enforcement.
Yikes.
And what's also interesting, too, is that many of the people here at the protest were the same people that we saw up near the alleged crime scene, which is just up the street from here. So we don't know how long this protest is going to last for, but again, it is growing by the minute. It is getting louder, too. And Asia, the message here is clear, is that they want ICE out of their state, and they simply have had enough. Asia?
All right, Max, thanks. Our team coverage continues with CBS 13's Sam DeCoste. He is also live in Biddeford. Sam, reaction is pouring in from state leaders about the shooting, including a news statement that we just received from Governor Mills.
That's right, Asia. We've just heard from the governor issue a statement about the shooting that happened behind me here in Biddeford, and I'll read her statement for you. She said, quote, "I have been briefed on the fatal shooting in Biddeford this morning involving federal law enforcement. I know that situations like these are alarming and frightening. The Maine State Police are at the scene supporting and working cooperatively with the Attorney General's office, Maine's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, and federal officials to determine the facts of what occurred this morning." That's her statement. We've also heard from Congresswoman Shelley Pingree. She says that she was on her way to Washington, D.C. this morning when the news came out about the shooting. And she says, as you heard from Brad, this is not the first shooting involving ICE agents that resulted in someone's death this year in the United States, but it is the first in Maine. And with that in mind, Pingree is demanding transparency from ICE to find out what happened this morning and why.
I am so deeply disturbed and angry. I, of course, need to know all of the answers here. Were they pursuing someone with a criminal record? Was this a random traffic stop? How did this possibly happen, and why was this person shot? Were the officers wearing body cameras? Will there be investigations?
I'm going to pause that really quick. Rye, the guy, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. You are saying the truth should matter, but is rarely spoken. And rarely spoken anymore, regardless of who is in the right or wrong in a situation. I wouldn't get your hopes up, man. Listen, do we ever really truly get 110% transparency from anything nowadays? No, not really. I mean, some, I think, when they're completely in the right, yeah, they'll sit there and go, this is exactly what went down. It was a simple situation of him pulling out his weapon, and our officer pulled out their weapon because blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Those things are very, very straightforward. I think we get the truth on those. When it's easy to be transparent on that, that's one thing. But when it gets gray and blurry, I think that things get kind of thrown out or pushed off to the side. I don't think we get the full transparency of everything. I don't think we do, you know? And especially with this situation, I'm hoping that we do get transparency about what happened here. But the fact that they're dragging their feet on this one a little bit, there's a delay, that is wild. D major scaling up for scores. I see what you did there. So here's the thing. Breaking news. A bunch of people just stormed Senator Susan Collins' office. They are mad. Where did you find that, D Major? Where? Let me know. I'd like to see that. If that, where's that? Where can I find that? I'll start looking for it right now.
We've also heard from the likes of Hannah Pingree, Shenna Bellows, Dr. Neerav Shah, and Jordan Wood this morning. Some of them saying that they believe the ICE should be abolished and replaced after today's shooting. But they all also said they're monitoring the situation, waiting for details to come in about what exactly happened, and issuing their best wishes for not just the victim's family, but also the Biddeford community and the Maine community. We're hoping to connect with more Maine state leaders today, and when we do, or if we do, we'll let you know online and on the air. But for now,
I'm gonna try to find what you're talking about. Maybe it's on Facebook. Maybe that stuff is on Facebook. Hold on. Yeah, people are mad. People are mad and they are showing up. Oh, okay. Well, there is a protest going on, and yeah, this is live on Facebook. Let's take a look. You weren't lying.
Fuck you, Susan! Fuck you, Susan! Fuck you,
Uh-oh. I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit.
You gonna arrest the criminal or you gonna arrest people? Are you guys gonna go arrest the murderer down the fucking street? Are you gonna do your jobs? Is this private property? Yeah, is this private property? Is that a public forum? Sleep at night. Vote her out! Vote her out! Vote her out! Arrest her out! Kill her! Vote her out! 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 Vote her out!
Oh, my. Yo. Yo. Well,
Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home.
he needs he needs to do some flossing. He needs to floss. He needs to floss.
Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home.
Now, I want to make this abundantly clear, guys. Maine has had a long, for a while now, of major protests about ICE. So the fact that this happened in Maine right now is a big situation. I'm just letting you guys know. I don't know why the sound went out, but it may be just the feed. Okay. But I just want to make that abundantly clear, y'all.
Go home. Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home. Fascists, go home.
Why you? Okay, we get you. We get you, homie.
Was that a death threat? Was that a death threat? That's really bold coming from the ones that approve of murder.
Oh, I see.
I said you approve of murder. Why do you not approve? You already voted for this, fuckface. What fuckface?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know why. Okay.
Oh, he's going to a place where
That dude needed to floss his teeth, though. Like, really needed to floss his teeth. But now I get it.
Ice out, USA. 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 USA! Ice out of 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 USA!
So I'm sure he's pro ICE,
Ice out! Ice out!
and he's in the middle of this. Oh wow. So I'm let me mute this chaos really quick. So he clearly, it looks like he is maybe a pro ICE somebody, or maybe he's a MAGA supporter. Obviously, that's why he's like, the other guy's like, this is the reason why he's here in the first place, bro. This because you elected him into office, you idiot. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm using a lot of non-colorful words, but you get what I'm saying. So, because I don't know who this guy is who's live streaming. I thought he was just like another person that's just protesting alongside the anti-ICE protesters. But I guess he is a pro-ICE person, supporter.
But if you're supporting ICE, if you're supporting an organization that supports ICE, you're in the wrong one.
I support law and order. Yes, I do.
You support law and order?
Yes.
So police are not supposed to shoot on sight. They move.
We don't know. We don't have the facts of the case yet, sir. I don't have the facts of the case. Do you?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Facts matter.
Of course it matters, but if someone shoots, it's way quicker to move out of the way. Shooting someone, even if they're driving into someone, does not stop the car. If anything, it makes it more dangerous.
But sir, I agree. I would agree with you. Any loss of life is tragic. I agree with that. But I don't have the facts of the story.
With a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So
in your heart.
I just said any loss of life is a tragedy, 100%. But I don't have the facts of the story yet.
No one has the facts.
You guys never have the facts.
Yeah.
You don't want to have the facts. Well, I do want to have the facts.
You don't go by what Trump says.
You don't go what I don't think Trump is going to have a statement on this.
Oh, you don't think he has a say in it? He's the one that puts all these people in charge. He does it over and over. These incompetent, stupid, racist people.
If you run this case, you're wrong. If you run this case,
Run what case?
Run what case? Run this story.
Do you have a smart
What? There was a protest held in Biddeford today?
Tell a story about this shooting. Don't mess it up. Don't mix it up.
Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to cover the protest in Biddeford.
Based on
all your other rhetoric, and you can talk to fucking 20, 22, 23. You're out here trying to engage with these fucking.
I'm not engaging with anybody. I'm recording a live stream. I haven't said a single thing.
You don't have to, but that's part of the mask that you wear. Oh, we're just here. We're just reporting. You know you aren't. We know you aren't. I'm not engaging in your rhetoric. If you want to come out here and handle your bullshit and act for the propaganda machine, that's your First Amendment right. You can totally do that. All of course. Kind of a fucking dumb way to use it, but it's your choice.
Are you having these same conversations with the other media?
None of the other media engages at the same level of rhetoric as you.
What are we doing?
Are you really going to act as prestigious as the other media sources here at the Maine Wire?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, I'm sorry to push your ego, but you're not.
All right, well, I'm sorry you don't agree.
I mean, let's be real. The guy is out there, covering this, sure, but he's also getting footage and getting the clicks. Don't we see a lot of the ish disturbers, these instigators go into these places, whether it is pro or anti anything, and they'll just be like the person that's just the, like the antithesis of what the group gathering is all about. You know what I mean? It might be like somebody, a group of people that are, I don't know, pro-life, and then they're pro not life or whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean? And they'll just plop themselves in the middle of this of a protest or a gathering to get a rise out of people for content. Come on, this is come on, guys. We've seen it a million times before, but this is the thing. People fall for it, like this guy here. That just won't. Like, by him going, go home, and calling him a fascist and all that and doing all that, it's not going to change anything. He's going to keep going back. Homeboy going to keep going back. He going to be like, listen, this is giving me views. Thank you very much. You see what I'm saying? So everyone just needs to real talk. They just need to leave these guys alone because all they're doing is getting content. Like the Jake Langs of the world. I'm not saying this guy's Jake Lang. I don't know anything about this live streamer, but Jake Lang will plop himself in areas and make content be the antithesis of what's going on in that gathering. Like, a white supremacist showing up to the BET Awards and saying that, black parents are failures, and filming that the whole time. It's content. He's making money off that crap. You see what I'm saying? It's dumb, but it's true. But there's a lot of people out here that are mad, y'all. And I don't think it's going to let up. I don't know. You never know. They might come out with the truth and give us facts, and this entire group will be like, all right, then, we said our part today. We'll wait for the next one. If that guy behind the wheel was in the wrong. If he was not in the wrong, I'm telling you right now, it might erupt. Things might get much worse. But get ready for some loudness because I'm about to unmute it right now.
Somewhere else. Somewhere else. He's coming out of my face. You don't really believe in the Constitution. You don't believe in the equality of people. You don't believe in law and order, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights.
He's still there.
Good question. What are you going to do with the Statue of Liberty? You guys going to cut it down soon? Are you going to cut it down or what? What do you have in mind for this? I'm just a reporter, sir.
Are you guys to get these people away from the
If you are a reporter,
property? Understood.
So, Chief, are you going to bring in more officers? No? Okay.
You worried?
As the night goes on, you're not worried about me?
You want to get some clients?
No, not at all, sir. Thank you. Sir, you're really starting to be a little annoying.
Am I annoyed? What are you annoyed? You're annoying me, so I think we're
Justice, no peace.
Justice, no peace. Justice,
No peace. Get ice on the streets. Justice, no peace.
Get ice on the streets.
No justice, no peace. Get ice on the
Okay, we're gonna come back to that in a second. We got some other coverage here, talking about this protest that's popping off. I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can see that as well. And there is a press conference that happened, which is also interesting. We're gonna take a look at that maybe if we have some time. Let's take a look at this.
I want to go live to Christian for what's happening in that part of the city. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Brian and Amanda. Yes, this protest has definitely grown. I was speaking with some other reporters here from other outlets. We are estimating there was over 100 people. We know that for certain. And there's definitely, it just keeps growing. We're seeing more and more people coming down the streets here. But I'm only about a quarter mile away from where Sam was at the scene here. This is Mechanics Park in Biddeford. And I've talked to quite a few angry people about what happened here this morning. They are frustrated. They don't like to hear that Senator Angus King is reporting that there were not body cameras on those ICE agents this morning. And I also spoke to one woman who...
Yo, whoa, that's big. Interesting. There you go. Once again, same situation. If that is true, they are going to be very pissed off in the streets. No body cam footage. None. because none of the people were wearing body cameras. You understand how bad that is? Oh, my God. Like, when will they learn? You see what I'm saying? When will they learn? Shamalama ding dong.
Who lives not too far away from the crime scene. She saw the ICE agents, what she believes were ICE agents, saw them wearing badges and vests that said that. And she was also talking about what those parents, she saw the mother and the daughter of the gentleman who was shot. And this is what she had to say about that scene there.
The wife and the daughter of the man laying in the street were over here, and the wife was just melting down. The little girl was crying. She's got her little pink backpack sitting next to her on the ground that she's crying.
Oh, man.
Just inconsolable. So a little girl found Daddy laying in the street up there.
Yeah, and so the scene right here is continually developing and growing as more and more people descend on Mechanics Park here in Biddeford. I have seen Nirav Shah here as well as Troy Jackson. Shelley Pingree, Representative Shelley Pingree, is here as well as some other local state representatives for this area in Biddeford. There's planned to be some speakers later on. I've been told that there will not be any active candidates who are going to be allowed to speak at this time. This is a situation, there's a lot of people upset and passionate as they are here. But Brian, we're going to toss it back to you.
Hold on. I got to roll that back. So the kid, his own daughter saw and wife saw this. So he was a young dad from what we've been gathering. This is a young dad. It's sad, y'all. I mean, Debbie, I hope that there is a press conference at some point. But they're saying that there's no press conference right now, at least. And there's going to be people out here talking. So again, I want to play that part, eyewitness seeing the mom and the daughter of the man that lost his life. And yeah, Sally, let me just repeat that again. They planned on doing a presser, and then they canceled it. I don't know why they did that, but they canceled it. That is weird, if you ask me. But we'll see what's really going on here. Hopefully they have one at some point today. I really do hope that they do one at some point today, but anything's possible. Shoot, it's already 1:30 Eastern Standard Time right now as we speak. They may have one later on tonight, but they may not until tomorrow or weeks from days from now. God only knows. But the streets are only going to start percolating. The streets are going to start percolating out there in Maine. Okay? Crazy.
And vests that said that. And she was also talking about what those parents, she saw the mother and the daughter of the gentleman who was shot. And this is what she had to say about that scene there.
The wife and the daughter of the man laying in the street were over here, and the wife was just melting down. The little girl was crying. She's got her little pink backpack sitting next to her on the ground that she's crying. Just inconsolable. So a little girl found Daddy laying in the street up there.
Yeah, and so the scene right here is continually developing and growing as more and more people descend on Mechanics Park here in Biddeford. I have seen Nirav Shah here as well as Troy Jackson. Shelley Pingree, Representative Shelley Pingree, is here as well as some other local state representatives for this area in Biddeford. There's planned to be some speakers later on. I've been told that there will not be any active candidates who are going to be allowed to speak at this time.
I mean, this is very... man, just super messed up. But let us continue. We're gonna go back over to that live.
Thank you for being on. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm refreshing this
4
thing.
p.m. and we'll do a little recap then.
Oh, it's over. Okay, so that feed is over. That feed ended. But still
You're
crazy.
Not a billionaire. I don't think you are either, though, are you?
Hold on. But that is pretty crazy. What we have been seeing. Let's see. Hold on. Just checking to see if there's anything else real quick. Let's see. This is 22 minutes old. Yeah, they out here.
Hey Mainers, I'm here in Biddeford outside the office of U.S. Senator Susan Collins. Several hundred protesters just came through here protesting ICE's alleged shooting of a man here in Biddeford this morning. Protesters are calling for the end of ICE, for ICE to get out of Maine, to get out of Biddeford, and they're holding Senator Collins accountable for providing ICE an unprecedented amount of money to do this work. Protesters right now are largely across the street. The rest have gone down to Biddeford City Hall. Biddeford police came just a few minutes ago to clear out the crowd and get them away from Senator Collins' office. I'll stay with you.
Yeah. So that's coming from Maine Newsroom. People mad. People super mad. No, that's something else. Yeah, people hella mad. People hella mad. Understandably, I get it. If there's not any transparency, they said that they were going to do a press conference and then they just opted out from doing it. That doesn't make any sense. That is a huge problem, if you ask me, right? And I get the frustration. I get why people are sitting here going like, where is the transparency? Why aren't they letting us know exactly what happened here? This is when speculation goes crazy. This is when speculation goes afoot. Okay? Speculation is afoot when you start going, hey, oh yeah, we were going to have a press conference. Now we're not going to have that press conference anymore. It's been canceled. Why not? Why not just tell people exactly what's going on so that they know what's going on, so that they don't pull out their, they don't start doing throwing up the signs and assembling in the streets, getting mad. You see what I'm saying? And there's already a history in Maine of protests with ICE. And you just started it all over again by having this situation happen. A young father lost his life. We still don't know what actually happened here. That's the thing. Before we jump to conclusions and say ICE did bad things, we don't know what actually happened. But the sad part is this. They had an opportunity to do a press conference, and they have canceled that. Why? There is no footage, no body cam footage at all, no dash camera footage from the ICE vehicle as well. None. Why? Instantly, this is getting people angry. Regardless, if this is if they were in the right, like this was a justified shooting, or if it was not a justified shooting, the problem is that they need to show. They need to have those things implemented, those pieces of devices, those protocols implemented. They should have already been implemented. I thought we already learned our lesson from the Renee Good situation and the Alex Preddy situation. I thought they already learned their lesson from that situation. We need transparency as best as possible. When you have your own leader of the DHS, of ICE, etc., literally lying, former leader, okay, former ICE queen, all right, you got her lying to the American people in real time. You got to understand, guys, you know what I'm saying? This is important. This is incredibly important. All right. So again, there's a reason why they're out in the streets right now, guys. There's a reason that they're out in the streets. So I'm not surprised. But here's the thing, guys. I got to hop off, but I'll be back on in a little while. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot of other things we got to talk about. But of course, if there's things percolating and building up on this, we will be back to talk about it. I guarantee you that. Okay. But for right now, I got to take a little break. I got some things I got to take care of, but I'll be back to wrap with you guys on a bunch of things, because there were some things I wanted to talk to you guys about this morning, but this was popping off. This was breaking. So I had to break this story with you guys and talk about that. Okay. So again, we'll see what happens, but it is interesting that there was supposed to be a press conference. There isn't one, at least for now. They didn't have body cameras on them at all. So we can't even see a full-on explanation of what actually happened here. And now somebody just said, and I don't know if that's entirely true, but let me look that up. Hold on. Before we wrap it up, hold on. Aaron Parnas apparently said something about this as well, saying that he was driving away. I don't know. But let me see if he actually says something here. Let's take a look at Aaron Parnas.
We have new footage from Biddeford, Maine, where there has been another ICE shooting in the United States of America. I'm going to show you two video clips from the Portland Herald Press showing the shooting. This first video is of the shooting itself, so trigger warning. Video I'm going to show you is of the aftermath following the shooting again.
We already seen this.
There have been now, this is the 11th ICE-involved shooting since Trump took office.
Yeah, I don't see anything about him saying that he drove away, but it is interesting nonetheless, you know, that it's, you know, Aaron Parnas is talking about this. I mean, there's a lot going on here, guys. I know somebody else said something about News Nation talking about this. Let me just pull up News Nation real quick before we wrap it up, B. Because I got a few other things to wrap with you guys about. Let me just see if they're talking about this. I don't see anything online, at least. They may have been live on TV talking about it, and they just haven't cut it out and put it up on YouTube. But it is, you know. But I'm sure it'll pop up when the time comes. All right. So that is the show, guys. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Please make sure you stay tuned to this channel, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out today, over this week. There's just so much stuff going on, so much content, so many conversations that we need to have that are going to be in long formatted videos to shorts, also to lives. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Hit that like button down below. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button. Follow my other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, because there's a lot of things that I can tell you guys on the in articles and in posts on Facebook that I can't really, sometimes I can't get in front of the camera. So make sure you do that, okay? Follow my other platforms. Hit that subscribe button like I said here, but go over to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, so go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll be talking very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal.